Hi everybody, this is Manny from Dynamic Lifestyle. How you going? I'm at Thrive in Narrabeen now, 1434 Pitwater Road, Narrabeen. Now last week when I spoke to you, I was talking about using your, when you're doing lower back stuff, that you're using your erectors. So we've got the rector spinal and we've also got the multifidus. And a lot of people, when they're doing their deadlifts, for example, with their sit-ups, they're using those muscles instead of using their core. Remember we talked about inner core and outer core. Now I'm going to show you a bit of a deadlift today, and how I'm going to show you how to use your inner core to work with your hips. Before I go into that, what I want to talk to you about is our hips have got rotators in there, and they're good for going forwards and backwards. And as you know, we can go to the side, backwards and forwards. Alright, you should be able to do a figure 8, no problem at all. But what happens is, because people sit down behind a desk all day, they're using their thoracic, their upper back, which is up through from say T1 to about T12. And when you're so stuck in this area and you try and do a deadlift or you bring things off the ground, you are using that to do the work instead of using your rotators. So we want to try and separate the rotators from your thoracic. First of all, before you do any kind of deadlifts, you should always make sure that you have got a nice, good, not loose, but you make sure you stretch your thoracic, because the spine has to go in and the muscles has to come out. And if it's going the other way around, it means you're going to have issues when you go do your deadlifts. I have so many clients that come in and they've injured their lower back because they haven't done it correctly. All right. For example, I had one guy come in last week who injured his lower back from doing a deadlift because his hip flexors were tight, and his psoas major were tight. And so I didn't even touch his lower back. Just by releasing these two muscles, was able to release his lower back. And also, what happened with him, he was going too far in with his lower back. You see my posture, how it's got that curvature. It's not sticking out and it's not going forward. I want to go to the side now. I want to show you 3 different kinds of deadlifts, and one of them is the correct one. And you tell me which one is not. Okay, this is one. Remember, we're not talking about. We're trying to, when we do a deadlift, we're trying to strengthen the lower back at the same time the hamstrings. And what happens is when people pushing through their toes and not pushing through their heels, and got the thoracic all crunched up from sitting down all the time, they're going to use and compensate in different body parts. So this is one. Okay, still feels alright, still looks alright. I'm bending through the hips. Okay, this is another one. And this is the third one. Okay, now all three deadlifts, I can feel my hamstrings working, and I can feel my lower back, my glutes working. But which one do you reckon was the best? First one, second or third? 1, 2, 3. You got it yet? The third one was the best one. Why? First one, when I was going down, let me just show you. When I was going down, my hips were right out. Even though I've got good flexibility through my hips were right out. So, but that puts a lot of strain right through the lower back. And if your core is not on, and the strain is going through, you're going to expect problems. Especially, it's all right when you're going light, but when you start to go heavier, that's when the issues start coming in. And the other one, well, my hips were too forward, and when you have a lot of people who sit behind a desk all day, and the hip flexors get tight, and the psoas gets tight, and the thoracic gets tight, as I previously said, and then they go do a deadlift, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be straining because they're going to be compensating. Okay, but when you release those 3 muscles that I spoke about, and you release the hamstrings, and you can release the glutes, and you have them turned on, and your core turned on, and see how the posture is, and everything is, nothing is working, nothing is turned on but my hamstrings and my hip and my glutes and my hips, and I'm pushing through my heels. You're going to make sure that when you come up, don't do this through the back, you just squeeze your glutes. Again, breathe in, you come down nice and slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now, if you're not able to turn those muscles on and do it correctly, you need someone like me who's an expert in this area to go and find out what muscles are working and what's not. Because if you are using the wrong muscles to do your job, and then something that's acute will become chronic. And when it becomes chronic, it makes it more difficult. And the other thing I want to talk to you about is a lot of people are using belts. That's a no-no. Stay away from using any kind of belt, because as soon as you use the belt, again, you're not using the core, and you're using your erector spinal, which starts here and it comes to the top, and your multifidus, which holds your core. Remember I said to you last week, your core is like a piece of paper. Alright, so you need to know how to switch on and off when it's needed to. Alright, that's for the deadlift. Now if you have any issues or any questions, send me an email to either the Dynamic Lifestyle site, or there's a page on there, or the thrive.net site. There's also a page on there, and I'm quite happy to answer. And if you are struggling with, and you need someone to go in and find out, alright, which muscle you're turning on, which one is off, and you want someone to take you through it, to do it correctly, I'm also quite happy to do that. Alright, take care. Thanks for watching the video, and hope to see you soon in the gym.